Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be updating my reading journal for the books I read in April. I'm going to light my candle and then let's get started. Okay, let's get started. So I won't be filling out my yearly spreads here in the front in this video, but if you want me to do that on camera, I need to do it for the books I read in April still. So let me know if you want me to do that. I think I did film me filling it out for March as well. So just let me know if you want to see that and I can share that. But today I'm just going to flip to a blank page and move things over a bit. So for April, I thought we could just go with a spring spread for my cover page. I have this really beautiful sticker from Marigona, and I kind of thought I might save it for May because May is my birth month and I just thought maybe I would want something special, but this looks very April to me, just in like the color palette, I guess, a very springish. So I think I will use this one. And then I have this leftover paper from something else I did I might use. This month I read 3 books. Well, I read 4. One is like a spiritual kind of book, I guess you would say. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but I'll get into that later. But so I'll have 4 books I'll put on the cover. So I'll just keep that in mind as I lay out my spread. And here's another one of those papers I have over here. Very springish. I like that, but the colors are pretty different. Let me know how many books you read in April. I can't believe it's May already. It was definitely a good reading month. It was like a little bit slower for me, but it was good. I enjoyed all the books I read. I want to put this here. I want something behind it, but I kind of want the bees and things on there to show through a little bit. Let's see what we can come up with. I don't know what that says, but we could maybe use that. Let's try ripping this piece of paper. I love these stickers by Marigona, so maybe I just want to bring more of those in to go with it, as opposed to just kind of my usual full-on collage look. Maybe I want some more of these illustrated stickers with it. Okay, I got some brown paper just so I can have something for a background. Rip, rip, rip. Sometimes if I'm feeling stuck in one place, like over here, I just move on to something else, and like this page over here, and then I can figure out what exactly I want to do instead of just feeling stuck. Let's play around. I have this washi tape from Marigona too, and it's definitely similar colors. It's very busy, which I like, but I'm wondering how I could tie it in and it not be too overwhelming. I think I want to pick some frames for my book covers again. I usually pick a frame of some sort sorry, not for my book covers, but to write the book title in. So I think I will do that. And I have different pinks and purples and things I can pick from that kind of match. So I'm going to pull out those. They're in here in my sticker collection. I have these 2 pink ones, but they're not really the same color, pink as the dragon sticker. And then I have more over here, and there's some green and pink, so I might pick these. Even though it's messy, I'm just gonna get them all out. Okay, here's some green ones. I like the little ones. My handwriting's usually pretty large, but I kind of want to fit it on a little one if I can. They're not the exact same color green as the dragon, but I think it still works. I think let's lean into the green and pink since I don't often do that color combination. I've got that one. I like how they're mismatched. I wish some of these were a little bit brighter pink, but maybe it's good that they're more neutral so that my washi tape could stand out if I wanted to use that. This kind of matches the cup over there pretty well, so maybe I'll just keep it simple and do something like that. I could do that, and then I could put the washi tape around and like a witch girl sticker over here. I think that could look nice. And then a dragon up there. Okay, let's try that. Let's start with this side and try to get something going that we like. Let's move these and glue this down. Okay, now that that's down, let's add some washi tape. Let me know what you guys like to hear about while I do these journal spreads. If you just like to hear about the books or if you like to hear about like life updates or other things, I'd be curious to know. I know the couple people I watch their journaling videos for their reading journal. I pretty much listen to whatever they want to say. I don't really mind either way, but I'm curious because I don't always have loads to say about the books I read, mostly because sometimes it's been a little while since I read them, or I just really don't want to give spoilers. Like, I'm really a little self conscious of giving a spoiler, you know? I don't want anyone to watch my videos and then just feel like a book was completely ruined for them or something like that. I like that girl right there, kind of just going with it, trying not to think about it too much. I like these a lot, but they're so big, I'm almost wondering if I should save them for like another, another spread or something. And let's use the books for sure. Maybe that one should go over there. So maybe I'll put that back real quick and try to fit a dragon up here after all. This one's big, but I like it. Nothing wrong with a bigger sticker. Can offset it and fill up the space up here a little more. There we go. I think that's looking very cute. Okay, and now let's put our frames back in there. I probably should have put these in before, but let's see how much space I have to work with. I want to they don't need to be perfectly aligned or anything. I like them to be like a little bit asymmetrical as usual. Kind of like that, and then I could put like a flower or something in between. I think that's looking good. And now let's mess around over here before I stick more down and see about some brown paper over here. Since most of this is getting covered up anyway, and since this looks so cute on its own, it doesn't really need much to add to it, you know? I also have to remember the sticker will be a little bit smaller once I remove it from its backing. Okay, that's looking pretty good. And then I could stamp the title of April right there and just layer a couple things. I think I'm liking that. I'm not going to overthink it too much. I'm just going to, oops, losing my spot. Let's tape these down. And I see how many dots it has. So it has like on the ripped edge, the lowest it has 1 dot, and then over here it has about 3 dots. So I try to just kind of match, like it's right there, 1 dot right there type of thing. Don't know if that makes sense at all, but that's just how I don't really take the time to count all the dots, make sure it's perfectly centered. I just kind of eyeball it. It's just more fun that way. Will that work there? Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so with those papers down, I think I will go ahead and put the sticker here, or at least I will soon. I'm going to put this behind it. Sorry, someone made a loud noise outside. I don't know if you could hear that. Okay, let's put this nice little green guy over here. I don't want to cover up the bee, but I think that looks good. Now let's peel the big sticker. Okay, there. I think that's looking very cute. And now let's take a bunch of the stickers in the background from these sheets and place them around to give a little more detail. And now let's put these little frames down too. This little cute coffee sticker. Putting this sticker there. That's looking very cute. I'm going to clean these up a little bit so it's not so overwhelming. Let's put something right there. There, I think that looks really good. Sorry it's so loud. I already have my April stamps right here from another journaling session. So let's stamp the title. R is the middle, so let's start with that. There, I think that's really cute. And now let's write the titles in here. I read Blood over Brighthaven by Emma Wong. I read Ornithologist Field Guide to Love by Olivia Holton. And I read The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer. And then I read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, or Tolle. People say his name differently, so I'm not sure. There. And there are the books I read this month. I like how this turned out. I think it looks really cute. And now I think I'm ready to go into the spreads for the books. Maybe she needs something by her feet. What do you think? I have another book. Let's put this open book by her feet to weigh kind of counterweigh how big this sticker is. There. And there we have my cover spread. And now let's do a spread for the books I read. Of the books I read, I think I will... Do I start with the ones that I liked the least or the most? I think I'll just do them in the order I read them. So that means I'll do India Holton's The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love first. And then I will do The Lost Story on this page, The Power of Now on this page together. And then I'll do a whole spread for Blood Over Brighthaven, which I'm excited for because it's like a darker cover. Okay, cool. Let's figure out what I want to do for this book. I think I'll just stick with spring-ish themes because of it being April. The book itself was what it sounds like, an ornithologist's field guide to love. So it's kind of like a comedy romance with some fantasy elements, meaning it's very non-realistic, very much fiction. So there's like random, almost kind of wild or crazy magic elements thrown in there. But it does have like a studying vibe to it because they're ornithologists and they're very academic minded, although it is a fake world with fake crazy birds that do like magical things. So it's a very fun time, and I liked the romance in it a lot. It wasn't my favorite book. I feel like I gave it 3 or 3.5 stars, but I would definitely read other books by her. It was very quick and fun overall. It was a good time. I'm kind of just matching the cover and wondering if I should go with this like more spring palette again, or if I should do like these. These are kind of random, kind of like this definitely goes with that. Maybe let's do this one. Yeah, let's try it. Does my candle make you nervous? Makes me a little nervous sometimes. Okay, I'm wondering if I have anything with birds on it that I can use. I think for this one, I'll just do like light colors and spring aesthetic, and then I will do for Blood Over Brighthaven like a nice dark academia kind of spread. I think that will be fun. I kind of like these floral mixed with text, like the fonts on these kind of look typewriter-ish, and so it kind of gives like an academic feel to me. Let's see what all I have. Here's the butterflies that I ripped for the other page I never used. I don't think I'll have lots and lots to say about this story, so I might fill in a good bit with paper. I don't want these holes, but I might honestly just glue this down over here and cut off the excess and let the holes like hang over the edge. I think could be a good idea. Let's do that. Just got to start somewhere. And let's look at the other side of it to see if it's... Nope, it's not even. That's a little better. And now let's cut off the excess. There we go. I put that down, and now we can put this under here if we want to. These are not birds, but they're butterflies, and so it kind of gives me the same vibe as the book. Yeah, the book was very funny. I didn't expect it to be so ridiculous as it was, like with birds that did like crazy weird magic. So that was kind of funny. It's definitely lighthearted. I guess a very rom-com type of book. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, I think it was good. I would recommend it. It was a good time, and like I said, fast paced, and I liked the two main characters. They're kind of competing for this ornithology like competition to see who can win and catch this like very special bird. So it's like a bunch of ornithologists traveling all throughout London and maybe the UK in general. I can't remember, but they're just traveling all around trying to like find this bird. And it's like really funny because like everyone, like the everyday person knows that this competition is going on. And so they're all like watching and like cheering them on, or yeah, just everywhere they go, they're like, oh my gosh, are you part of that competition? So it's almost like a competition reality show in a way. But it's set in more of like a Regency era, so it's not like televised, but there's like news reporters and things like that for sure. And it was very funny, lots of unexpected things. And the main character is, the female character is very like tough and ends up deciding to do the competition on her own and like breaks off of her group. And I liked her. I liked how she was very smart and determined, and so definitely didn't like need a man, but still good romance in the book. They're actually, I guess I would say it's a little bit of like an enemies to lovers trope, or more specifically rivals. But yeah, I'm liking this washi tape up here. I think that looks nice. I definitely want to break up these lines with something, but I think this is a good base. And cut this so it's not too thick when I close the book. There we go. Okay, now what do I want to add? Could add more of this over here. It's spring and goes. Let's just rip it and see what we like. I like to keep I kind of try to rip around the parts I think I'll use later so I can have something to use in another spread. But maybe I just want to rip around these purple flowers. Kind of going with the purple theme over here. Let's just lift up the paper, the washi tape we put down, and just try to put it under there. I think that will look more cohesive since I put it over top of these guys over there. Okay, I think that will look good. Now let me just tape it. There, that's looking fun. Now let's see if I have any like academic-ish stickers. Like this looks like a stamp kind of, and that kind of reminds me of the book because they traveled by train a lot. Okay, we're definitely going springish, so let me grab some of these floral elements and see what we have. This cover has like gold with the purple, so I think, and this washi tape has gold with purple, so I think I will use some of these shinier stickers I have that I like, but they're not really like my go-to style, if that makes sense. And maybe I'll use some of these gold butterflies. I have to cut those out, but it could be pretty. And then I have these gold moons, which a lot of them have cats in them, but some of them don't, like these ones. The orange kind of goes well with the purple, and I don't really know what else I would use these guys for, you know? So even though it's a little bit unexpected, I love floral and nature things and the moon, so to me, it kind of works. Let's put those aside and just do a few at a time. And if we put them like with the ripped paper, it's more subtle because you can't see them like quite as well. Let's try that. And then I have also a bunch of these little guys, which also have moon and stars. So maybe I'll focus on finding the star one so it's not too many moons everywhere, if that makes sense. Okay, I've got these sparkles. I've got that little guy. I think I like this overall. Let's try it. Okay, let's see. Maybe this is too academic now and we should just go floral and moons. Let's see what that looks like. And then I do have my trusty Midsummer Night Dream, which is very nature and moons, which is why I love it so much, because it's kind of both of my vibes together. And those would definitely go. Hopefully it's not annoying to you guys if I use the same materials a lot. I think it is nice being me, you know, not having to get a bunch of new washi tapes and things all the time and just using what I have. So hopefully it's a helpful way to remind you that you can use what you have. This could also go. I used that last time in my last month's setup, but we could try it. My desk is getting messy. I put one of these sun ones on here because it was left over. I'm going to gently put that there. I'm not going to press it down yet. Let's see. But maybe that's what I'll do instead of using this washi tape in a whole strip like I have in the past. I'll just use a little frame from it. You'll see when I can finally get this unrolled. These little frames. Maybe that one because she has a book. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, I'm going to put that to the side. And then let's put the cover of the book down. There's the cover. I might put something more over here. I still have these guys, these ones. And I like this little hand with the butterfly. And let's put one of these sparkly stickers over here. They don't show up great against the brown paper, so maybe I should go with my gold butterflies. You can see that gold butterfly against there better. Let's put this one. I don't mind if it's subtle because there's all of the patterns going on from the ripped papers. Okay. I'm going to cut up this butterfly and put him over here. Let's put a star sticker. I'm going to need more soon, but I might get a stamp to do my stars with. I'm not sure. It would definitely last me longer if I got a stamp. Okay, let's overlap one more of these moon stickers. Sparkly moons over here. Stands out against the white really well. And then I have some bigger ones that even though, oh, you would see that one pretty well. It's kind of a lot of moons, but I'm kind of liking that, so let's go with it. A butterfly and moon theme is one of my favorites, or two of my favorites combined. Okay, and then I just think we need one more butterfly or two to go at the right edge. Okay, let's put this over here since this guy, there's a sticker right there and I bet you can't even see it. He did not show up well, so let's add these guys there. Okay, there we go. And I was thinking of leaving this open, but maybe I should put something. Let's put this one over here. There. Actually, some of the things are showing up better on the camera than almost in real life. I gave this 3.5 stars, so let's fill those in. There we go. I will write about it in the end. Okay, so let's do these books next. The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer. I rated it right away after I read it, and I think I might have given it 4 stars, but really it's more like a 3 or 3.5 to me. I really liked the beginning of the book when things were a bit more of a mystery, and then towards the end I didn't like it as much, but essentially this book is based off of, or inspired by, I should say, inspired by The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. I really loved those books growing up, and I believe this one specifically is inspired by The Silver Chair, I want to say. That's one of the books in the Chronicles of Narnia series, if you don't know. And I don't remember that book like specifically super well or anything. It's been a while since I read those. But it starts off with 2 boys get lost in the woods and go missing, and then when they come back, one of them doesn't remember anything that happened and the other one won't talk about it. So very interesting premise, very like intriguing. And then I don't want to, give any spoilers, but if you've read Chronicles of Narnia, it's inspired by that, so that should let you know something. And if you haven't read that, it is I'm not very good with genres. It's definitely fantasy. I believe it won a fantasy award. It's the same author, Meg Schaefer, who wrote The Wishing Game, which I haven't read, but that also won awards. So if you liked that book by her, I think you might like this. It definitely wasn't bad. I enjoyed it, but it just had parts that were a bit slow, or I just expected maybe more to happen, if that makes sense. I expected more to happen with the magical parts of the book, whereas it felt kind of like a mystery in the beginning, and then the end was a little more magical, but I still enjoyed it. How will I tie these 2 pages together with the decorations? This one's fantasy. This one is nonfiction, spiritual, perhaps self-help book, maybe. It's like a mindset book. It says A Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment. It's very popular, over 15 million copies sold, it says right there. And it's just about, essentially, I would say, it's definitely a book you have to read for yourself. I'm not going to be able to explain it nearly as well as the author does, but it's essentially the power of now, meaning the power of being present, being in the moment you are in, and not trying to always reside on what's happened in the past in your mind, or on what's going to happen in the future. But it's a little deeper than that. It's not just about don't worry about the past or worry about the future. He just elaborates a lot more on it. I can't remember exactly how long the book is. I think the audiobook, which I had the audiobook from the library and the physical that I was annotating as well. And I listened to it like slowly because I would keep falling asleep, but also because it's one of those books you just need to listen to again sometimes. Like I'll probably keep reading it and keep listening to it, but I did finish it all the way through once, so I wanted to put it in here. And I will have a lot of thoughts about this book, but I'm keeping a companion reading journal in my Passport Traveler's Notebook. I just posted a video about that if you are interested in looking at that, but essentially it's just a mini little journal where I write thoughts as I'm reading so that I don't forget as much. And so when I come to fill in this journal, I have my thoughts kind of ready to give like a review or just put in here. I really don't need to keep 2 reading journals, but I just quite enjoy it. And this is the one where I decorate and kind of collage. And that book is just where I mostly write thoughts while I'm reading things, or write quotes down while I'm reading. And then maybe sometimes I go in after and I add like a vision board in there. But again, that's posted on my channel if you want to see that. Okay, so these jellyfish stickers definitely go with the colors. And I also have these koi fish, which I really like, which maybe I will use because I kind of like that they have the orange from here and the yellow from this cover. And then, so it's kind of complementary to the blues, if that makes sense, complementary color. Let's try that. And then I have these blue frames, which I might use just to add some more pops of blue, so I'll take those out. I have this set of colorful origami paper, so I was looking to see if I had anything dark blue, But I only have this bright blue, which is kind of too bright for me. Well, there's that one. It's definitely nicer than the bright one. Let's take those out and see. Oops, I make such a mess when I scrapbook when journaling. Let's just rip this and see how we like it. Let's kind of rip it rounded a little more down here. Very symmetrical. Maybe I will just like do symmetrical and decorate it like this is water and these are fish and it's one spread kind of. I think I will put the paper down first and then do a box around to keep them in their own pages. And it's not exactly the same, but I like that look. And now let's go ahead and do a little box around each page. And if you see me do this, I like to double line it so that it looks more freehand intentionally. There are my outlines, and now I usually put them like that, which I don't hate, but maybe I should do that. Maybe we'll do that. I'm gonna go ahead and tape the book covers down. I really enjoyed the beginning of the Lost Story, and overall it was good. I liked it. I don't know how many other people, this is my book club pick, and I don't know how many other people really enjoyed it. I think most people don't read fantasy in the first place, so they weren't looking forward to fantasy. So I hope it didn't disappoint them or anything. So I hope they liked it, but I kind of won't be surprised if not too many people loved it. I really did think it was pretty good, but I just think the end had good themes that I liked, but it felt like it should be a story about kids, which maybe is supposed to be on purpose, kind of like We Never Grow Up. And it had some good quotes about the magic of books that I really liked, but overall it just, something about it wasn't my favorite. Okay, let's add these fish now. I have to cut them out because it's not pre-cut, and I believe I got these stickers from Journal Say. I can try to find them and link them below if you want. I try to link all my supplies so that you guys can find something if you're interested in it. I definitely like the contrast of the fish with the blue. They have little bubbles in the background that I want to use, but I don't always know how to cut around them and make it look nice. I love koi fish. I paint and draw and have even embroidered koi fish on different things because I just love them so much. I like how these are like fish in bowls, but they kind of also look like bubbles. And I'm going to try to have them kind of swim along with the blue. And I think I'll just add some washi tapes if I can get them off. Okay, these are not ripping very well, but... Okay, and then maybe we will add these moon guys in here to kind of tie with the rest of what we did and to give the corners a little more, just something going on. I think that's looking good, and I do have these blue frames that I got to kind of bring in maybe the darker blue a bit. I think I like something, I think I want something with more. This has seashells on it, but it's just like I don't love the color of this paper, guys. I don't love it the more we sit with it. It's just still a bit bright. Like that would be nice if I had paper this color. I have some tissue paper right by me that's a different color. Maybe we don't need to completely cover it up. We just need to add a little darker look to it. Even just to this side, honestly. Let's try this. I'm really winging it this time, guys. Just trying things as so hopefully it turns out all right. See, at least then there's some contrast with this whiter frame. Definitely the moon looks cool on there. It's looking pretty fun. It's definitely different than what I normally do. And then I think I will just add like a little bit at the bottom and keep this, like, because I like to do, when I have two books on the same spread, I like them to not perfectly match. I like them to go together, but then have their own thing going on a little bit. So let's glue that down. Let's cut the excess off. Good gravy. Okay, I'm liking this better. I'm liking the overall more like ocean colors. Kind of like this has like the green in this book. I don't know why it says number or no for number on there. Let's just go with it. Let's place this moon down first. rest of the sheet where the fish were on. I like the flowers have the yellow and orange that kind of go with the orange and the yellow over here in the book. And now I'm just going to add this over here and, add a little more stickers around the spread. I decided I'm going to place some more stickers around because I don't have too much to write for these books, and because then I can use these fish like sticker sheets all the way up, which I think would just be kind of nice. And also I think sometimes when I'm a little unsure about a spread like this, like it's not my typical look, I think something that will help me like it more is to kind of just go all the way with it and like really commit to the vibe, you know? So I'm playing around with how to use like the last ones, and I think I'm liking that. So I'm going to fill the star ratings in just in case I cover them with a sticker or something. So this, okay, I don't normally rate a nonfiction book because it just seems like weird to do. It's more about how it connects with you. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill in 5 stars. Plus I did really like it. So I do think 5 stars is pretty, accurate. But also, just so you know, I don't normally rate these, but I haven't really ever included a nonfiction book in my reading journal before. I don't think. I've only kept a reading journal. Last year was my first, 2024 was my first year keeping a reading journal. And if I read a nonfiction, and I don't remember if I did, I don't think I put in my reading journal at the time. Okay, there's that, and then let's fill in. I think I'm gonna give this 3 stars. I feel like on Goodreads, I can't rate a book right after I read it. Unless I loved it, then of course I can give it 5 stars. So I might go back and change it. I usually do that on my Goodreads. I just rate it because I'm finished with it. And I want to mark that I'm finished to track my time spent reading it. So I go ahead and mark it finished, and it says, what's your rating? And I go ahead and put a star rating in, but sometimes I go back and change it because it's not always accurate really with what I'm feeling or thinking later. Plus, I don't like being hard on books, which I know authors maybe appreciate, but probably no one really cares my opinion on their books. So probably it's perfectly fine to just rate it whatever I'm feeling. Let's add these over here and peeling and sticking. And then I have a couple little stickers left on the edges that I will go ahead and cut more cleanly and use. Okay, and this is the last one, and I'll put it over here. There. I like that a lot. I think that's a good amount of room for me to write in. Like I said, I had a lot to think about and say about this one, and I'll probably return to it and could even have more to think about it because it's one of those types of books, but I'll just do that in my other little notebook reading journal where it doesn't have to be pretty and I can just write my thoughts to look back on. This is more where I just keep reviews, not all the notes while I'm reading them. So I'll write in those in a bit here when I'm done, and let's do my final book and favorite book, Blood Over Bright Haven by M.L. Wong. This book, if you have heard of her, which I feel like you probably have if you like fantasy. Really great book by her. Her other popular book is called The Sword of Kaigan, and I've heard that one's great. I want to read that soon too. This one is a bit, it's fantasy, dark academia, really interesting magic system with typewriters, and I've heard people compare the magic system to coding on a computer, and I thought that was really cool. I'm not super familiar with coding, so I didn't necessarily make that connection, but once someone said that, it made sense to me. If you've watched the TV series Full Metal Alchemist, I also saw someone compare this, I think it was on Goodreads, compare this book to that. And it is very both industrial type of city and setting, but also magic. And I think those two things combined is really cool. It's a very well-rounded story. A lot happens. There's good character development, and it really does a lot in a single book. It could definitely be a series, but I like that it was a standalone because I have a lot of series I'm reading, and sometimes it's nice just to get everything all in one go, all in one book. And I definitely want to do a dark academia kind of spread for it. So let's see what we have. I want to use this washi tape because it has a little bit of red and the moons in it. Let me see. I'm getting out my kind of dark academia stickers, at least the ones that feel like that to me. some papers. But yeah, this is a book I definitely don't want to spoil. It was very good. When I write about it, I could put the synopsis up if you want to read that. But I know even some people don't like to read synopsis. They feel that sometimes I say too much. The magic system is with a typewriter, and it kind of has like a diagram of the typewriter. It's not called that in the book, but I'm forgetting what it's called at this particular moment while I'm looking at papers. But so this diagram style of like ephemera kind of reminds me of that, the feeling I had when I was reading the book. And yeah, it has a good mix of magic and academia, and it has a lot of political intrigue, a lot going on. Those who wield magic have the power, and there's secrets to uncover. And our main female character is the first to be accepted as a mage, I believe is what they call them. But yeah, the first to be accepted as a mage at the academy there for magicians. Yeah, I loved this book. It reminded me, if you've ever read Tamora Pierce, I read a lot of her fantasy books growing up, which are YA, but she has a couple books that are about a knight, a female knight dressing up as a guy to go to a night school because it's only for men, and knight with a K, like going to a school to become a knight. And I loved those books growing up, and so definitely being like the first female in a male setting, a male dominated field, is like one of the themes in this book. But there's like a lot of themes and they're done really well. I'll definitely throw up a synopsis if you want to read it, and if you don't, just skip past it. I'll probably just put it up for a little bit, so if you want to read it, you can just pause it. Just moving ephemera around, and of course getting some ripped paper. I'm going to start by putting this in the middle. Okay, with that down, let's put the ripped paper on the sides. Okay, that's looking good, and now I want to add a little bit more paper around. I like this one a lot. Now that I got those papers down, I want to put my washi tape at the top and the bottom. I think this is looking really good. I'll probably put that there. I have these like moon diagrams, stickers. I love like the paper, like this type of paper gives me academic vibes that I like a lot. Things I have, I like those smaller ones since I already have bigger pieces. I like that. And then I think I'll add some roses for, there is like a subtle romance in the book. It's definitely not like the main thing in here, but I think I'll add some roses just for the thorny, beautiful element they add. They still give kind of like romantic, dark look to me. So here, and they go with the red cover, or the red on the cover, I mean. But yeah, I feel like this book is very like expertly written, some really deep themes in there of, I don't want to again spoil anything, but you read the synopsis if you read it, so. Hey guys, my camera actually died, and this is the next day, so I'm just going to finish up this spread now, and then I'll write in all of my spreads. Let's see, I like this galaxy piece of paper, but we might not need it. It's looking pretty good. These have the same top shape to them, so I might swap this one over here like that, just to break it up a bit and maybe overlap them a little more. I think I like that, the very layered look, and I think I'll just maybe rip this one a little bit because I was liking the less clean edges over here. Okay, now let's start putting everything down. I like the pop of red that these roses give. I really like how they pair with the cover of the book. I usually like my spreads to match either the theme of the book, like the style, like if it's fantasy or romance or whatever, or I like them to match the cover of the book. It's just fun for me in that way. this star sticker, and I gave this book 5 stars. I'm not sure if I said that yet, but I very much liked it. I thought it was really well written and a really great story. Very moving and meaningful, but still action-packed and fast-paced, and really fun magic system. Although, if you know, you know. Okay, let's color in the stars. There we go. Let's try stamping out the title. I think it might look good. Let's try it. I really like the stamp font because it kind of reminds me of the typewriter look, and is a little bit messy, which kind of like fits the book, in my opinion. The fact that there was some messy elements around the magic system. So I think this is very fitting. Okay, now I got ink on my fingers as usual. I'm going to connect my O a little bit, and I'm going to write the author over there. And then I think I'm just going to start writing about this book. Maybe let's clean up a little bit. Okay, now that we have cleaned up a little bit, I'm going to start by writing in this spread. And yeah, for those of you wondering, I usually start by just writing the first thoughts that come to my mind as I recall the book. So I start just by saying this book was very exciting, this book was a letdown, this book was unexpected, that kind of thing. And then I kind of try to remember the book from beginning to end and comment on my thoughts I had while I was first reading it, the characters I liked or didn't like, and then thoughts towards the end if my opinions on the characters changed, if they did things that I didn't agree with, or that kind of thing. So nothing super crazy. I don't think it's anything that I would probably let someone else read. Like, I mean, you guys can see me write it. If you read it, that's fine. But always remember, if you read when I'm writing, you might see spoilers. So just keep that in mind. And my handwriting's not the cleanest. Hopefully that makes sense and maybe gives you a few ideas of what you could write about. written about, so let's flip through the finished spreads. First, we have the cover page. Then we have The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love by India Holton. Then we have The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer and The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And last we have Blood Over Bright Haven, which was my favorite for this month of April. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if there's any other book-related content you would like to see from me. I'm working on making some reading vlogs, and I would love to know your thoughts and if you've read any of these books or if you plan on reading them. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I will talk to you next time. Bye, guys.